Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ray Rich Brown, and welcome to the GMD Think Alike podcast, where we discuss things like life, share advice, and fascinating stories. Please subscribe and help us grow this channel. And we're just going to get into it. I got a very lovely guest with me today,
Hello.
Rima.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's your full name, Rima?
I'm Reema Roch.
Rima Roch. Nice. So the way that we met was Rima was lovely enough to provide the carpet for this studio, and it just grew from there.
Yeah.
We just stayed in touch, and now Facebook friends, and now we're like family friends.
Yeah, it all started with Facebook Marketplace.
That's right. It's a beautiful marketplace there.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, we're just gonna document your life, you know. So this is for like future generations to look back, you know. We're not always guaranteed to be here on earth. So we're just going to capture this moment and share from your perspective, which is very important, like kind of your journey and what that was like. So one generic question I seem to ask everyone is, what's your earliest memory?
I remember some of the moments, like places, the smell of the place that I've been to, a train station that I found very fascinating at the age of 3.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. And you still remember that?
Yes, and I remember a lady who had in Bombay, she had a particular face cut and her haircut. Her style was unique. She had really large smile from one year to the other year. She had that smile, and she gave me a particular biscuit, and it wasn't like a cookie. It was like that proper biscuits. It was branded. I never found that taste or that brand again in my life. So I remember that lady for that.
In Bombay, you said?
In Bombay.
And this is where you were born and raised?
No, we just went on a tour. She was my mom's close friend. And the first thing that my mom told her, all that I just remember is my mom just met her and she said, it's been 40 years that we haven't been connected. And then she gave a hug. And I was there.
And you were 3 years old?
No, this one was not when I was 3. This was when I was maybe 8 or 10.
Okay, later on, yeah.
But what I'm saying is that
taste,
that memory of during childhood of that particular lady. I kept asking my mom, who was she? And she said, yes, she's a friend. But, she, although my mom mentioned that she met her after a long time, we didn't keep in touch with her, I think. Or my mom, that time she didn't have anything like Facebook or, phone technology to be able to connect. So after that, we've never met. And I've never got that biscuit again. I wanted to go and ask her what brand that was. I could go and have it.
Wow. The search for the biscuit. And you also asked me to bring some biscuits. So there's something up with the biscuits. You're searching for that.
I love snacks. I love snacks. It connects me to the person. And
Oh, nice. So where were you born?
So I was born in Mangalore.
Mangalore.
It's like Geelong, the west coast of India. It's the southern part of India. And Mangalore, I'm a Portugal descendant.
So, Portuguese.
Yeah. So that's why I'm a Catholic. And my mom, we have names like Rodriguez and Lobos and cool. Pereiras and Sequeiras. I was born as a Sequeira, so Reema Sequeira before. Now I'm Reema Roch. So Roch is also not a familiar Indian name, Roche. You can hear, about the medical pharmaceutical company Roch, company in the US. But it's actually, this is how I got my name and the religion and all of that. We're a very minor group in India, in southern India, in Mangalore and Goa. So that's where I was born. Both my parents are from Mangalore, but they migrated to Bangalore and I was raised in Bangalore.
In Bangalore.
It's like Melbourne, the metro city.
So not too far. Okay, you said like the Geelong, so...
Yeah.
So you're saying like in southern India, is there like a large Portuguese influence there?
Not large at all. It's a very minor group of people. So like the names that I mentioned, we all Catholic group who speak Konkani, which is the coastal language in India.
Wow.
We're only in
Konkani.
Goa and in Mangalore.
I've heard a lot about Goa.
Yes.
I think we talked about it when we met.
Yes.
That's a place where I wouldn't mind going. And now it's expanded to travel to, that whole region,
Yeah.
I want to see more.
Yeah.
And maybe one day we could go.
Yes, you should come with me. It's a lovely
You can be
place.
our tour guide.
Yes. And, Goa is kind of good for tourism because government has spent a lot of money there on tourism. So it's kind of commercialized. But if you just go down a little bit to Karwar, which is the same line, the coastal line Karwar, and then you have Sirsi, Sastan, and Mangalore, you will see the true warm, clean beaches.
I've heard a lot about the beaches.
And they're beautiful. Yeah,
Yes.
You don't need to have a ticket or something like that on tourism to go there. You don't have any entry tickets and all of that. It's just plain nature, and you can just walk down. It's just creating awareness of these places that you can visit when you travel. So next time India trip, let's just
I
make it.
I want to. Definitely see like more northern as well, if I do go over there or when I do go over there.
Yeah.
The Taj Mahal, that's always a big one.
Yeah, Taj Mahal is the wonder of the world, and it's got very good history.
Yeah.
And it's in Agra. It's in the northern part of India. So people go to Delhi by flight, and from there you take a train, 4 hours, you reach Agra, and then you...
Have you been?
Yeah, we've been. So it was fun. I met my husband after my grade 10. And he came to Bangalore, and he had never been out of his town, Mangalore, which is like a small town. Yeah. He'd not been out of Mangalore, and then the state is Karnataka. So he came to Bangalore to go for his college education and admission. And then he met me, and I kept showing him the good parts of Bangalore and helping him to settle down. And then the next challenge was I was already working. So what I did was I had to be doing my induction training in Delhi. So I gave him a challenge to come over to Delhi because I had to go on business class and he had to come in the normal economy class. So he had to come by train all alone. Just to meet me in Delhi. And then we said, okay, looks like it's time to go and see Agra. So
yeah, why not?
We went together. Yeah.
Nice. How old were you guys when you met?
So that's a different story. So what happened is coincidentally, my mom told me that there was a function to attend, a family function. I didn't even know the kids of the hosts. And I didn't want to go. I was reluctant. I didn't want to go there because I was tired of my holidays in Mangalore. I'd already spent 40 days. I was done with all the good food and, all the functions I attended.
You just wanted to rest maybe?
I just wanted to come back home because getting ready to school and all of that, I had to do a lot of things. So this was in grade 10. And I was...
What is that? Grade 10?
Grade 10. I was 15. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And there was this function I had to attend, and I told you I didn't want to go. My mom and sister conveniently went off home, and I was still there because I had to attend this function. And I just put in a condition to my cousin brother saying that you'll drop me and you'll pick me up within 1 day. And I went to that house. The function was all about a new house. And when I went there, it was like a big white house.
Yeah.
White house, big mansion. And there was a board there, Roch Villa.
Nice.
And there was this boy with a weird kind of a mush and long legs, black, long bunny teeth. He came and opened the door of the gate, and I just asked him, is your boss here? Because I thought he was one of
Like
the workers' son. So I just asked, is your boss here? Because I've come here for the function for this house ceremony.
Was it like a housewarming? Like a brand new house and people just come?
Yes, housewarming. And in India, you have about 300 people invited for the housewarming.
Wow, that's a lot.
And the other thing was in the front of the house, they were just laying those stones and they were really in a hurry to complete that work. So I had to, the ground, I had to skip through some of the stones there. And I was all excited. You know me, I'm very excited about construction and renovation.
Yeah, you helped me with that.
So I was fascinated about those stones. And, I just made my way through to an old house at the back. And this boy just kept following me. Little did I know that after, 15 or 20 years, he'll be my husband. That's how I met him. And we didn't have a clue. I was not in touch with him even after that.
That's your first meeting.
Yeah. I was there for 4 days.
Yeah.
I had gone only for 1 day because I didn't want to stay there.
Yeah.
But
what made you stay?
My father-in-law was reluctant. He said, "Your mom's not here. What will you do in that house? You be with us. It's a new house. So stay with us. You'll have your own room and all of that." I didn't know I'll come back to that house and live there as a daughter-in-law. So I was there for 4 days and I kept playing chess. My husband would bring chess and he would be after me saying, "Can we play chess?" And when I played...
Really?
Yeah, my dad had trained me to play chess. My dad was very particular about mathematics, that I had to learn mathematics really well.
Yes.
And playing chess. So he taught us when I was in grade 3. And we had about 5 different sets of chess boards. Magnetic ones, the small portable ones, the wooden big ones, and then the marble stone ones. And I started playing with him, and within 3 moves he would lose, and he kept following me, and he would just get an opportunity. "Let's play chess, you teach me," and all of that. And after we married, I took almost 2 years just to defeat him.
So he got better?
I think he got much better because after we got married, or maybe I was kind of distracted with my daughter being born. But he got much better after that.
I love chess. I'm like, I love chess. Yeah. So we have to play chess after this.
We should.
If we have some time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Now I haven't met your husband.
Yeah, he's not here because now you know my story. Yes. Fast forward. So that was another episode and we all came together.
We'll try not to rush.
Yeah.
We'll try keep it.
Okay. We'll keep it for the climax.
No. We'll get to that point. So I want to bring it back again.
Yeah.
So when you were born in Mangalore.
Mangalore. Yeah.
Mangalore. And do you have like siblings?
Yes. So I have, we are 3 of us born in 3 years.
One after the other.
So I'm the youngest. And my sister, who's 2 years older to me.
Yep. She's the oldest.
Yeah, she's in Australia here.
Is she?
Yes, and she's a nurse. So she's been here for 10 years.
Oh, and what state?
She's here in
Melbourne?
Victoria, Melbourne.
Oh, that's
nice. She's in Epping.
And Epping.
Yeah.
It's not far from me.
Not far. Not far from Craigieburn at all.
Yeah. And then your
my brother. So he's just 1 year older to me. And he's my partner in all the crimes during childhood.
And you guys are close in age.
Yes. And we built an aeroplane to go to the church. Together with all the scrap. A small wooden aeroplane which could fit only both of us, and we could ride, and we had a toy like a horse. We took out the wheels and we put it at the back just to support, and in front we took some tires which we found in the scrap, real tires, a car tires, and then we put it in the front, and we made a seat, everything cut by the hexo blade in our hands.
How old were you?
Yeah, I think I was... so this was in middle school. In India, you have primary, middle, and high school. So middle school, so that would be, anything. So grade 5. Yeah. That was grade 5 or grade 6.
And where does your brother live now?
So now he's with my mom in Bangalore.
In Bangalore.
Same house that we were raised in.
So Mangalore and Bangalore Are they two different like towns? Or
So it's in the same state, like Victoria.
same state?
Just the way I told you, Geelong and Melbourne,
Yep.
350 kilometers apart.
So Mangalore, that's the smaller one?
Yes, it's like a town, a small town.
And Bangalore is
the metro city. It's all, the developments are all saturated kind because it's all fully developed, You also have ring roads in Bangalore. So now you have 3 ring roads, inner ring road, outer ring road, and the main ring road.
Oh, wow.
So it's all massive. It's fully developed, yes.
Oh, nice. So your brother's there, your sister's here, and your parents, are they still alive?
Yes, so my mom's there.
Yep.
My mom's there.
Sorry,
so
your
she's
mum
not
is there,
going out because of COVID.
Yeah, no, right.
And we keep telling her, we need you. We need you to stay.
Exactly.
Yeah. And my dad passed away in 2015. And he was a preacher in the last few years of his life. He would preach about the Bible and spread the good news to people. And, for us as kids, I would be a little ashamed kind of thing. If someone came home, I would say, I don't know who he is. Because he would
but
just
you're
keep
a
talking.
child. Yeah, you're a child. So.
As a child, and they would just turn up, home. My dad had certain rules in the house.
He was very strict?
He was very strict. Quite short-tempered, so we all followed whatever he said. Little did I know that those rules made a lot of sense. Yeah, and they say, by the time you know that your dad's right, it's too late. So now I know that meaning of that sentence, he made a lot of sense. And when he was alive, it didn't make any sense to me. So now when I'm a parent,
works, doesn't it?
Yeah. Now when I'm a parent to the kids, I follow all his rules and I make those same rules for them. So he would always check our feet before we slept to see if it's clean. He would ensure that if anyone wants to come home, the doors are always open wide. They wouldn't need an appointment. They wouldn't need to check how they look. No, you just call them and they feel happy. And when they walk inside, whatever we have, sometimes we're not at all prepared with food or anything like that. But whatever we have, we might even starve for that lunch, but we would just give it to them first. Yeah,
or other people. Eh?
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah,
and so both your parents were like from like Portuguese side, or was it just one? And
no, both. So my dad was mainly from Karwar. He was born there. Karwar is between Mangalore and Goa.
Okay.
And then their parents moved to a place called Barkur. It's on the riverside. It's a beautiful place because, you've got a lot of coconut trees and
nice.
Fishermen lived there. Literally every household had the main head of the house into fishing. Nice. So his entire childhood was, all the fishermen would go to work on boats. The boats would be parked in the kitchen. So the kitchens were a long rectangle. So that's his side of the story, the Riverside boy.
Riverside boy, that's your father? And your mum?
Yeah, they would make that boat upside down and sit like the dining table on the boat and they would have their food. And every day you would not ask what curry are you making? They'd ask what fish curry are you making? So you had the names of fishes and that's the difference. Yeah, different fish curries every day.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
I'm hungry for that.
Yes.
And what about your mother?
So my mom lived about, just about, 60 kilometers away, but in the same city, so in Mangalore. She was in the heart of Mangalore, and it's called a place called Angelore. That's also a Portugal name.
Yeah, sounds very...
Angelore, yeah. There was this red building there. It was built with real red stones. So in Mangalore, when you enter
red
Mangalore,
stones.
Yeah, you will see all the hills with red mud and red kind of stones. That's because of the coastal water and the waves, There's a lot of salt in the air and the air is really humid. So you kind of sweat by just standing in the same place. You don't have to work hard. So all the toxins are always released in Mangalore.
So she's like more like a city girl, or
So her generation was very different. She was the 12th child.
Whoa. 12.
And yeah, she lost 5 of her siblings during the pandemic plague in 1970 to 1980. So 10 years they had plague. And, 5 of her siblings passed away. So the first
that's
3...
devastating, huh?
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. And, the first 3 children and the last 3 children survived. So between her eldest sister, who is still alive in the US as a nurse, and her, there was 22 years difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
So, she always says, we hardly got to know them because by the time they moved out of the house, my mother was busy with her setting up of the business. She used to sell flowers. She would grow flowers and, sell them in the nearby market. And the kids
your mother or your grandmother?
Grandmother.
Yeah.
Her name was Marceline de Souza, so another Portugal name.
Yeah. That's cool. I love the names. The names are awesome.
Yeah.
What about the language? Like, is the language very, like can you hear the Portuguese language in different states?
Yeah, so it's not the Portuguese language. It's not like it's Portuguese or Spanish, nowhere close.
Yeah.
It's the coastal language in India is Konkani.
Konkani, yeah.
Yeah, and as you go to Bombay, because, you have Mangalore, Goa, Bombay, so it all goes towards the same west coast.
They all speak the same?
But the dialects change.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the words are similar, but the dialects kind of change. And from Konkani to Marathi, Marathi is slightly different. I can understand, I can speak, but they will speak in a slightly different dialect. And some of the words, is taken from Hindi. Yeah.
Because I know in India, there's so many different dialects and...
Yes, absolutely. As you go to, get out of each of the boundaries, starting with towns to cities to states to, even in the country's southern part and northern.
Yes.
The appearance, the clothes change.
Really?
The food changes. Yes, I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
And then the food changes.
I need to be educated on this.
Yes, and then the language changes. Yeah, these 3 things change all the time.
I know the language is a big one. So from one state to another one, they might not understand each other,
Yeah.
But I guess Hindi is kind of like an overall way to communicate, is it right?
Yeah, and we communicate a lot.
In Hindi?
By looking at the person, for some reason, you can guess the language that person knows.
And even maybe skin complexion too, yeah? Because I
we know all the shades of brown.
Yeah. All the way to like very fair.
Very fair. Yes, it's all brown.
Yeah.
But you have different shades of brown. Yeah, so and even, the type of nose, the type of eyebrows.
The different facial features.
The height.
You can tell.
You can tell what state they're coming from and you can guess and you can start speaking the language. So, normally, if you're living in a metro city, you'll know at least 5 languages.
Wow.
Yes, it's compulsory to know your state language because you have to study that language to read, write, and you'll be given difficult poems to compose and write and during exams.
Yep.
So you'll know the language
That's
really
definitely the first one.
Yeah. So the first one is your mother tongue, which is your family language.
Yep.
So Konkani is my mother tongue because my father was from the fisher side, coastal. My mom's also from the same place. So in Mangalore and Goa, you'll see Konkani being the primary language. So it's Konkani, and all the schools are all English medium in India.
Really?
Yeah. All the schools are English medium.
That's the British influence.
It's the British influence. It started from there. And really, that's the good part, because it is like a universal language. And you cannot say that if you're coming from India, they don't know English. They really know English because you're reading English, you're studying English, and you're... going through the grammatical part of English thoroughly in every class and every stage. But you're studying different subjects through English.
Through English.
Yeah.
And then there's Hindi as well, yeah?
Hindi is a must again. Because yes, nowadays it's optional in some of the schools.
It
like
is?
if children, like if our children would go there and settle down, and if they don't understand Hindi, then there's an option to join an international school, and choose a different kind of syllabus where you can omit that language.
Oh,
But
really?
otherwise, earlier we had state schools, and all of us would go into state schools. Even though you go, like I went to a convent education school, which means that it's run by the sisters. It's a Catholic school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there you'll see that the standard is a little higher, and English is kind of compulsory there. But you also have Hindi, as compulsory. So you can choose the level of language you want to learn, saying second language or third language.
Yep.
So you'll be going into batches. Say, for example, if the whole class has about 80 children, which was average during my time, then what happens is, 40 people might go for second language Hindi class, and another 40 people might go for the third language Hindi class. So you can choose which one do you want as second and third between Kannada and the state and the country language.
That's fascinating. Okay. So where were we? So you're growing up there. And what's like a memorable story, like something like a fascinating story that you have from like being at the kind of like the primary school? Do you have like one that stands out?
Oh, yes. So there was this thing, right from the start. My mother was a teacher in the same school.
Your mother was.
Oh my gosh, that was really harsh. Yeah, my mother was a teacher in the same school. She taught in grade 1. And every time we entered her class, we would sometimes rush because she's our mom and we want to tell her something. No, you have to stand at the doorstep. Excuse me, ma'am. And then when she gives you the permission, then you enter. But if she says, no, I'm in the class, go out, you have to go back. And some of the times, when the teachers would give our papers, exam papers for a review. So they would have assessed it and, showed our marks. And then they give it to us to take it home and take our parents' signature. So some of the teachers would say, go and get your mom's signature right now. So I would go down and my mom would say, this is not to be done in the school. Take it and put it in your bag and come home.
Yeah.
And take your dad's signature. So there was this thing, it would confuse us as teachers' children.
Yes.
And it would be very harsh because my mom was a singing teacher and I would practice so hard in singing. And when I would compete, she's the judge. So I would never get the first place.
Parents are naturally harder on their children because they want their child to do the best.
Yeah. But there were a lot of other good memories. All the teachers who taught me from grade 1 to even my kinder teachers, because I was there in that school for 12 years. So from the LKG, which we call as lower kinder group, so lower kindergarten. So LKG to grade 10 is where you finish with the school. So the high school, everything is there in India. That's the way it is structured.
Still today?
Yes, even now. So when I was in this school, it's Mary Immaculate School, again, a convent school there, run by the Sisters of Apostolic Carmelites. All the teachers, came for my wedding.
Oh, nice.
Every teacher who taught me.
Yeah?
They were all present on my wedding day.
That's amazing.
Including the principal, past and present. So
you must have been a really good student.
So another feather in the cap of my school. Not because I was a teacher's daughter, but because of the strictness and discipline my parents taught us. My target was to be the leader. Because I would love to take responsibilities in the very first go. So what that means is, so school started on 1st of June every year after 2 months holidays, because there June is the rainy season and summer it gets really hot between April and May. And so, it's closed. All schools are closed.
It's too hot.
It's too hot in April and May. And those 2 months are the times where, you go and collect your results. You would go to school in between. You can go for vacations, and you'll prepare your uniform and your next set of books. You had about 50 books to carry in your bag. I used to call it duck bag. It's a square bag. You just put it like that, and you carry it. Yes,
how heavy would it be?
You have to carry it in grade 1. You'll carry all your books and come back. So
make you stronger. That's part of your physical education.
So what happens is when you get into school, you're in your first month, the teachers observe you, each and every child. And you need to do something outstanding to be able to be recognized, right?
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would do little things which none of the other students would do to build a rapport with my teacher. I would wait at the gate, and as soon as the teacher arrived, I would ask, "Excuse me, miss." So we would call our teachers as miss. So, "Excuse me, miss, can I please have your bag? I want to help you till your class." And
be a teacher's pet.
Yes, basically it's like that. So just take the bag, go and keep it in the class, and then take the water bottle, go and wash it and fill it and keep it ready.
That's good. I like that. It's nice.
So doing all of that, the secret aim was, I want to be the leader, because when I'm the leader, I have to shoulder the responsibility. I have to be an example.
And you were up for the challenge.
I'm up for the challenge. And
you seem like you're always up for that kind of challenge, which is good. It's a good virtue, taking responsibility. It's something that I want to teach my children.
It's taking responsibility that got me till here, to wherever I am, because and I know that whatever project I want to do, I know I'll find my way through, because
you have this confidence now.
I have that confidence, and I know that if I just take the responsibility and have the right intention, then I will get there. And it's perseverance. Definitely. It's not going to be easy. So I have to do something where I lead by example, but have followers, and then you can get it done. Without other people, I just can't. No one can succeed without other people.
Definitely need a team.
Yeah,
team effort.
It's all teamwork.
Yes. That's cool. That's it's amazing. All right. So then, I guess I wanna bring it back to when you after you met your husband, but so when you were at the house, how did it go from there? Did you keep in touch with sorry, I apologize. I don't know your husband's name.
His name is Anush.
Anush?
Yes.
Okay. So did you keep in touch with Anush after you had stayed there for the 4 days?
No, not at all. We were not supposed to be using gadgets. We didn't have any phones. I didn't have a phone in my house, even a landline. I didn't have it.
This is very new technology for us anyway.
Yeah, and he was from a very well-off family. So he had a phone.
Oh, yeah?
But I didn't have a number to give or anything like that. But I was in touch with his parents.
Okay.
And that was the first time I saw him, My family knew them. And that's why I was supposed to be there.
Oh, that's why you
function.
went to the housewarming.
Housewarming. So somehow the parents knew them.
Yeah.
But, I couldn't be in touch with them. And I wouldn't, because I am a person who would just meet and then keep going. And there's so many things happening in my life. I would just keep doing that. Yeah. Another thing was, when you walk on the roads during my time in India, there's too much of this, boys and girls thing. The girls will walk looking down. You wouldn't look at any boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's not a thing there. I went to girls' school, girls' college.
Yeah, so quite reserved and
No, not at all. I would play only with the boys.
Really?
Yeah, when my mom would, we had 1 hour play every day. So after we came from school.
And plus, with your brother as well, you guys are very close.
So my brother and me did everything together. So he probably had
friends, and then you just
his friends were my friends.
Yeah.
And I would play with the girls. I would find it really boring. So I'd always play with the boys, always, because people call me tomboys. I know my neighbors, they would always say, "You're like this tomboy, Reem," because I like that fast-paced kind of a game. My brother would climb up on the mango tree, big, tall mango trees. and he would tell me to catch each mango as he gets it, and if I put it down, then his efforts would go wasted. So I would value every mango. So I had to be accurate in catching it from down, and I had to be able to see him.
Nice.
So like that, we played with marbles, we played with stones.
There's a lot of activities.
I had just one toy my whole childhood.
Really? What kind of toys?
A proper toy these days, So I always liked soft dolls, but no one gifted me anything. And then on my 12th birthday, my sister somehow, saved some money up, and she brought this small little dog, and it had this nice soft fur. And we always had pets in our house. In Bangalore, you don't have big yards because metro city, quite expensive. So we had cats, rats, white rats.
Yeah. As pets?
As pets inside the house.
Oh, cool.
And we had 2 dogs. So there was a rabbit at one point of time, a black rabbit. So we had all of that.
And plus your toy dog.
Yes. And so this was the only toy, the soft toy. And I used this soft toy just to, attract the other pets and make some sounds and all that and play with them. That's all. There was no other toy. My parents would never buy toys for it. They would be like, why will we buy toys when there's so many things you can play with? Exactly. We had our own imaginations and games. We would play. I know a lot of games in India, which all of us played with sticks and stones.
Mm-hmm. That's we could teach our children these games, because now they're all on the iPad or TV.
Yeah, I feel sad. My children here still don't touch gadgets.
Oh,
only if required. Yes,
that's good because once
not allowed.
Once
not
they
even
do.
TV. Yeah, so they feel bad. My daughter, because she's 10 years and now just finishing with the primary. She says that people have different games and. And she says, when am I going to get my own, stuff to play and all of that? But I say, I'll teach you some of the games which you can look around and play with.
Yeah, there's probably even more fun.
Yeah.
Especially if you have other people to play with.
Yeah.
But in school nowadays, like my daughter, she's 6 years old and she's required to have an iPad.
Yeah.
Unheard of. That young children, they're required to bring in laptops and computers now.
So I taught one thing to my daughter during the lockdown because she got the iPad from school too. And sometimes she would just hide and play some games. And then when I asked her, why are you playing? She says, it's mathematics. I'm just doing some maths. And then she would look at me and say, look,
as long as she's learning,
Yeah.
As long as she's learning, I'm happy.
Yeah. So I'd say, okay. And as soon as her school time is done, she can do anything during the school time, 9 to 3.
Yeah, but they want to do more.
No, and as soon as that's done, she has to keep her iPad back. And then I told her one thing. I don't know how you're going to do it, but don't spend time. Use time.
Yeah, important.
Then she came to me and she said, okay, I'm not spending time on the iPad. I'm using time. And I asked her, what? How are you using the time? Are you using the iPad or you're using your time? And she said, I'm using the time. I said, how?
Yeah.
And she said, I'm actually composing a song and I'm testing it with the ukulele in an app. It's called a songwriter app. And it's for free from Microsoft. And I couldn't believe it. But when I went there and saw, because you can't download apps in the school's iPad.
Oh, you can't?
Yeah, but this was Microsoft. So
it's different, yeah.
Yeah, so it was already there. And then, she started playing with it. She started composing songs. And then...
Nice.
Yeah, and there was a talent competition online.
Mm-hmm.
And she participated in 8 different categories.
Yeah?
Yeah, in the lockdown. So everyone got to know her. After the lockdown was done, the restrictions uplifted. Parents came to us and say, is she the one who played in this? They had to do homemade instruments.
Homemade?
So she came up saying, can I make a drum? Do you have cardboard boxes and all of that? Yeah. Then I said, I don't have the time. So she comes to me in the last moment and I don't take that responsibility because I'm doing other things which I'm interested in. So I said, I can give you ideas, but figure out what you want to do. And she said, I want to do, some kind of an instrument which has all the chords in it. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, ta. So all of them. Mm-hmm. And then I said, you just have to fill some water and you can get the levels of music in that. And she said, really? Can you show it to me? And I said, see, just fill the
like
glasses or steel cups. So I had steel cups. And she put that, and she started recognizing the sound.
Yeah.
And then she, made some notes and put it under the glass, so only she could see
she
it.
Knew.
So she knew, okay, these are the chords, and then she started applying that, and she made a song, and
smart girl.
She played it, and she won it for homemade instruments. So that was one category.
We won't say that was your idea.
Yeah, in the lockdown, somehow we wear the hat of being the guides, and otherwise in the school I don't know what she's doing, and the teachers are really good guides. But that's a good thing.
So just trying to bring it back again.
Yeah.
So when did you meet your husband after that? Like, when was the second time, or after that?
Yeah, so after that, in India we have, after grade 10, we have first and second pre-university, like college. So grade 11, 12.
Okay.
That. And after 12, he wanted to do his degree in Bangalore. Now he says that his intention was because he wanted to meet me and be in Bangalore. But his parents said it's too early. So he had to complete his college in the prestigious St. Aloysius College in Bangalore. So he completed his degree there. And then he still stuck to that wish. He said, I want to do my MBA. So his parents said, what do you want? Why do you want to do your MBA? You have a business. You can just start it. No, I need help.
What was the business? Was it like the family business?
It's the family business. And he was very clear since his childhood that he's going to help his parents to sustain the business.
Yeah.
And they were very clear that out of the 4 children, he's going to be there as our eldest son.
He was the oldest?
He's the eldest son.
Yep.
Yeah. So he wanted to. So they were very clear with what he wanted to do. And so then they started with contemplating on the idea of doing this MBA, and he was very serious that he wants to do his MBA. Now he says that all I wanted was just to come to Bangalore and see if I could figure out where you are. And then I reminded my mom and dad, do you remember she had come for the housewarming? Are you still in touch with them? Why don't you call them and ask if they can support, because it'll be a new place for me and all of that.
Yeah.
And they called my mom. And
they did,
by then we had a phone.
So how many years is this after that first meeting? So you were 15 roughly?
So 15 is grade 10. When we first met.
When you first met, grade 10, 15. Yeah. And then how old were you?
So after another 5 years, you finish your degree. So by then we were maybe 20. And, I started working by the time I was 18. So I was already working for a company from the US.
Oh,
so
really?
It was a multinational company. I was already working. Yeah.
What's that company? What were you doing?
That was called as iSaver Systems. And
iSaver Systems.
What happened? Like so that's IT. Another story.
Yeah.
That's another story. I just landed in it.
Oh, really?
Just landed into the job. I did not apply or anything, but that's the story.
Yeah.
So, Sister Philo, she passed away because of COVID. Exactly in July this time in 2020, last year, she passed away. I think it was today's date, 1st of July.
Oh, sorry to hear.
So Sister Philomena Manuel, her name is, and she called me because she had these favorite students, again, teacher's pet.
That's all right. They're allowed to have favorites. So she helped you land this job?
No, she wanted help. She called me and she said, if you're available, I just have 2 or 3 hours and you have this good handwriting. Can you make, I'll give you all the cardboards and everything. Can you quickly write down the name of the company, put it up on our library entrance, and then you'll need to spend 1 hour there. The students, eligible students are the final graduates, those who will be graduating that year degree. So the final degree students will come there and you will have to talk to them about what it is, what is the process, how many rounds, and then give them the papers. There'll be an English test and they'll need to attempt that, and you'll need to put up the results after 1 hour. We'll
Sounds like you're doing everything.
No, they said we'll give lunch to you.
Yeah.
So you have to put up on the board the results. So top 10 people will get selected, and that's it. You can go home. So I said,
3 hours. That sounds like a little.
Yeah, she
longer
said
than 3 hours.
She said it'll start, by about 11 in the morning. So she called me at 10 and she said, "Can you come here in just 1 hour's time? I'm sorry for the short notice." And the college was very close to my house. The school was really far, so college was really close to my house. 15 minutes I would take. I would have this train cycle. I just overnight had converted my dad's Hero cycle. So there's a brand called Hero Cycle. It's very famous in India.
You converted that plane that you and your brother made.
No, so what we did is we used that hexo blade that we always used. We cut the rod.
Oh, so you did.
And I went to the welding shop, that big cycle. I took it to the welding shop and he welded the rod for me and made it a girl cycle.
Really?
So now Dad couldn't use it anymore because in India you have the stereotype, the girl cycle and the boy cycle, right? So it was, I was really short. I think I was 4 feet and 9 inches or maybe 5 inches then. So, I couldn't reach the seat. If I sat on the seat, even in the 10th grade, if I sat on the seat, my legs wouldn't reach the pedal when it went down.
So what did you do?
So I had to keep my feet. So I wouldn't sit on the seat. I would keep my feet through and I would just keep pedaling. I could not sit. And in slopes where it would go down, I would sit on the seat and take some rest. Get back quickly.
So you made it to the college?
Yeah, so so what happened was at that time I was in grade 12. I got good scores in that semester and that class. But when sister called me, I went there. I quickly put up the board and I wrote there, "Welcome to iSeva Systems." And so that was iSeva Systems.
That was the company, yeah.
Yeah. And I just completed so this was during the holidays. I just completed my exams for grade 12. And now I look forward to choosing the subjects we had to choose on what I had to major on what subjects I had to go. So I was ready with BCom, so business commerce, and Bachelor of Commerce. And I thought, okay, let me go and help sister. Went inside and then I saw these foreign people, white people, they come in and they speak such good English and that American accent. They walk in, they give me that firm handshake and I was at my best. And there was this lady, Indian lady, I don't remember her name now, with a very nice cotton sari. She had that height equal to her colleagues. And she spoke such good English. And I was like, wow. And my mom said, at home, although we knew 5 languages, our neighbor's language and the state
Hindi,
language and
English.
Yeah, so Hindi, Kannada, my neighbors were all Tamilians, so Tamil. And then if you know Tamil, you'll know a little bit of Malayalam. And we also had a few neighbors with Malayalam. So I could understand all of these languages. And then mom was clear when we made mistakes, grammatical errors, when we spoke at home in English, she would always correct us. Yeah. Because she would say that English is what
it's going to help you.
Got her career into getting better salary and communicating, making that difference as a teacher.
It's a bigger market there.
Yes. So she was very particular that we spoke good English at home. And here I was, supporting the principal and an ad hoc call just to help on, a comprehensive English exam for the graduates. And so I walked in and
you helped do the signs and
sister showed the board and she did mention in front of me, she did mention that girl utilized her calligraphy skills and she put up that board just to welcome you and they were very impressed. They saw that, but they didn't see me at all. I was just in the background.
They just acknowledged like, okay, that's nice.
And I was really scared to make those announcements because they were much senior students and, I just went there was this mic and I was kind of hesitant, but I went there and just one sentence, wrote it down and go on the mic. In India, it's always, you don't look at the paper. Whether it's one sentence or a debate of 5 pages.
Oh, okay.
You don't look at the paper.
You have to memorize.
Starting from grade 1, you don't look at the paper.
Really?
You never look at the paper. So
learn very quickly to just memorize something.
It's not about learning, you're just memorizing, because all your exams are all memorizing. So much to memorize.
Yeah,
I won't say learn, but memorize.
Yeah.
I'm not a very big fan of that, actually. So I went there.
So you did well there?
I did well there, but the twist to the story was that I went around looking at the papers and I knew answers to most of those questions.
Oh, really?
There were paragraphs and the reading test and the English test that you have here in Australia. It was the similar thing there. And people were kind of getting confused because in India, you have to read. And you have to read all the keywords again to be able to exactly answer that question, correct? That's the US way. But in the Indian way, you have to read and there'll be questions and answers and you copy the answer from that paragraph. That's the style we had learned there in India. So this one was very difficult for the students. I saw them not knowing what to do. And you know what I did?
What did you?
I just wrote my name. I attempted for that paper.
Oh, you just felt like you wanted to do the test yourself?
I just did the test. I wrote the test.
Why not?
And I took all the papers. I put mine also through and I just submitted it.
Really?
And in the results in the top 10, I see my name there.
Oh, you did?
Selected. It's funny.
Oh, wow. So you're there just to be an assistant. You ended up.
I was there.
Not only are you doing the organizing the things and helping things run smooth, you did the test on the side.
So once we got selected, the next round was a face-to-face round. It was a big oval. I was on one end, and on the other end, that lady with the nice sari. I still remember the design of her cotton sari.
Nice.
Brown, beautiful leaves on the white sari she had worn.
Gucci.
She was sitting the other side, and then you had these, white people.
Yeah, okay.
2 males and 1 female next to her, and she asked the questions, and they would ask. They were well prepared. They would take turns.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was on the other end there, and I was so small. They would wonder if I was, really a college. So the first question they asked, oh, okay, Rima Sequera. That time I was Sequera, so. They didn't even go with the question, tell us something about yourself. They just said, how old are you?
Just to make sure that you're old enough.
Yeah. And
you would have been maybe a year or two younger?
I was actually 17 and a half. So I was just falling short of, 2.5 months to turn 18.
Yeah.
So I was 17 and a half.
And they would have been 20?
Yes. They would have completed 20 years. Graduation. So that's when they, I kind of, all my efforts went off in vain because all that thing that I did on the test paper and all that, I realized I did the wrong thing because they ended it right there. They didn't ask any other question. They said, I'm sorry. The eligibility criteria is
18.
You have to be 18 to be able to come in. So I didn't lose hope. I don't know, something came out of my mouth and I said, if you don't mind, can you give me a contact number? Because I'm really interested in this. If you want to continue with this interview, can you complete it so you know more of me?
Yeah,
and
that's clever.
When I send an email to you, you'll remember me and I'll join in. But I promise you that I'll be there 2.5 months after. I'll be there. And they said, we don't know if we'll have the vacancy at that time, but this is my card. So that lady, she gave me the card and she gave me the email. And 2.5 months after, I went there. But I did speak to my principal and I said, thank you for the opportunity. I actually got through this round, but because of the age, I didn't go. And she didn't like it.
What didn't she like?
She said that was not right. You shouldn't have attempted because not because that I went through in this process. Anyone could apply. It was just a campus kind of interview.
But she didn't like the fact that you were 2.5 months?
No, she didn't like the fact that I'll start working at that age. She said, you complete your degree. Okay. So she said, she even gave me a choice. She said, I will sponsor for your degree if the fees is the problem, or if you really want to earn money or something like that, you can do it much better. Believe me, I have students who have dropped out of college and done their gone to earn, and students who have completed their graduation and earned, the salary somewhere is almost the same within 2 years. You can catch up. You are a bright student, so why don't you complete your education? So I told sister that I'll definitely complete this education. I promise you that. And now that night I went home, that I've given commitment to the company.
Oh, yeah.
I Save
Because you said that
Systems.
you would.
Yeah, and then I've committed to sister saying that I'll continue my education, and I do this all the time now in life. I took out a sheet of paper. I wrote
Pros
down
and cons. Huh?
no, not the pros and cons. I wrote my goal number 1 and goal number 2,
Oh, yep.
and then I had to find a way to achieve both at the same time. Now what will I do?
Yep.
And I also, in the college, I was also a basketball player. So every day, 7 to 9, I was playing for the university, representing the college.
Active. Very active.
So I've been, playing basketball when I was in grade 4. So I was, I think I was the first person, along with 2 other of my other students. The 3 of us were the first 3 children to take our school to the national level.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in basketball.
Overachiever.
So not an overachiever. It's just that I love to grab the opportunity. So what happened was I was stuck there. I had to do all the 3 things. Can I do all the 3? Should I give up basketball? And then if I have to go to work, that's 8 hours. There's no option of part-time. Oh, there's no option of part-time in India.
Yep.
It's only a full-time job. You either take it or you leave it. And then, will I really get the job, firstly?
Yeah.
So what am I going to decide? If I
So how did you work it out? So you had to set the different goals, work, study, and then also basketball.
Yeah. So then I had the questions. So I went back to sister and I said, sister, when are we starting for the degree? And by when should I enroll? And she said, you have 3 months. That's good news. I have 3 months.
3 months.
And in 2.5 months, I'll have to join there. So I'll come back when I turn 18. So in September, I turned 18. I went back to sister and I said, so you said that you can sponsor a little of my education. How much can you sponsor? And would you really want to do that? And she said, if you're not working, I'll sponsor. So I said, okay, I'll think about it. I'll come back to you. I went to the workplace for the interview and I couldn't find where that lady is. I sent an email, no response. I called on the phone. With the sari. Yeah. I called on the phone and, the number is not working.
Oh.
And then I didn't give up. I went to the company and I was dressed like I was going for the interview. And no one could recognize me because the Reema that I was on that day and the Reema that I am on this day is so different because of the dressing. On that day, I wore a traditional dress. Today, I'm wearing, all this suit and all of that. And then I went there inside. I said, there was this person who had called me for an interview. I actually gave my interview already, but I can't find her. And they said, no, we don't know. We are ourselves new. This company is so new here. We just set up 2.5 months ago. And I said, I was supposed to be in the pilot batch. Can you please help me out to just tell me or how I can get that email? And they said, sorry, we don't have the email, but can you write an email and send it to this email ID? So I went back, I wrote an email to that email ID. And I got a call. And they said, I'm sorry, you have to go through the recruitment process again. If you get selected, then you can go. And I said, on a special circumstance, because I'm running out of time, I have to make a decision on college. Can you please tell me the address of work? And can you tell me if I can have the interview right away? And to my surprise, the paper was absolutely the same.
Oh.
2 days afterwards, I went to that same office.
So you've done the whole thing.
But I had to do it all over again. And later, after I joined the company, I was not in the pilot batch, which would have been a fantastic thing 2.5 months ago.
Yep.
If I was in the pilot batch, I would be the senior person. All of them who
because this is new,
was there,
brand new.
Yeah, they were all senior people because they know the process.
Oh, wow.
But then I joined. And you know what I did? I achieved both the things. I got my degree and this college. So what I did was I couldn't go for the full-time college In the same college, there was a part-time college.
Yeah.
So that's where I did the part-time.
That's how you did both.
Yes, I went.
I was trying to figure out how did you do both?
But I went for basketball in the morning. My shift timings, and another thing, the location. The office is right opposite to the college, and that's why they chose this college for campus recruitments.
That's only 15 minutes away
15
from
minutes
you,
away from my house.
Close, yeah?
Same cycle. My dad's cycle. Same cycle. Go and, go to work. And the shift was between 3 in the noon.
3 in the noon.
Yeah. No, sorry. It was 6 in the evening to 3 early morning. So 6 to 3. When I started first, it was 12 at noon, ending in the night at 10 o'clock. So 12 to 10. And, after that, it started with 6 to 3. But then within 3 months of joining that company, they recognized my skills. I was able to beat all of the parameters, I joined it like a call center. It was a call center actually. But it was a kick for me because, I felt like a big achievement. My mom's salary when she retired as a teacher was 8,000 rupees per month. When I joined this company, it was 13,000 rupees per month.
Wow.
That was a big thing.
That's huge.
That's why I took that responsibility at home and got things upgraded and paid off all the bills and every month
Would have
taking
been a
that
nice feeling,
responsibility.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how I started with my career at the age of 18. So when my husband, coming back to husband's story.
Yeah.
So
you were already there for a couple of years doing that.
I was working already with iSeva Systems. But in 3 months, they pushed me from the call center to quality coach. So I've got 20 years of experience with what I do in compliance.
Be helping with the recruitment side of things, is that right? Training?
No, as a quality coach,
quality coach.
Yeah, as a quality coach, you identify the defects in the call and you start coaching people on the parameters. Right. And slowly,
helping with the service.
Yes. And not just that, not just measuring and, identifying defects and doing all the calibrations and all that on the parameters to improve. Not just that. So it started with that. But I could choose the type of project. So what I did was I chose IT projects. I was not an engineer, but when I chose IT projects, I noticed
opportunity to learn, yeah.
Yeah. So when they are supporting on technical support, and I'm listening to the calls, I know most of the solutions on platforms. So now I'm very
well equipped now.
Happy with platforms. I can learn quickly and I can try my hands on any platform because of the willingness.
Yep.
I was able to coach engineers, and my next company there was Microsoft.
Really? You work for Microsoft?
Yes.
Oh,
that
wow.
was the dream
Amazing.
company. Yeah. And that's where in my career, I jumped. It was a big leap jump, because...
in what way? Kind of like responsibility or just everything was a big jump?
It was a big jump in terms of the salary.
Salary jump.
The next interview. Oh my gosh. I went there and this person, I should mention his name. His name is Anand Sampath. He's in the
shout
US
out to
now.
Anand Sampath.
Anand Sampath. Yeah. He's in the US and he's in the top leadership team. He was in Mindtree. So I know a lot of my colleagues who was recruited through by Anand Sampath.
Okay.
At this company, and he's changed lives. So
nice.
He's a fantastic recruiter. I'll tell you what he did different. When I went for the interview, there was this role advertised. We didn't know about the salary, and he said quality coach for Microsoft. I went there and he said, you'll be a quality analyst because this is an IT company. You'll be analyzing data and the process, and you'll be improvising the process, and you'll find through the lean process what the gaps are. So it's one step level more.
Yeah, analyzing the data. Yeah.
Data, yeah. So I went there and I said, yes, I fit into all of that. Just say yes, yes, yes to everything because you want the job. He goes inside. And he says, what are your goals in terms of the money?
What do you want to achieve? And what did you say back then?
I said, I love land. I want to buy land and I want to have my own house and keep all my pets there.
Yeah.
The dogs are outside, not inside anymore.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And I want to have my own bit of land and do something there. And he said, why land? And I said at that time, I think I was just 20 at that time. Within 2 years of working with iSave, I moved to Microsoft.
Yep.
And I said, imagine if I have a land, say with a very good salary. And he asked, how much is very good for you? And at that time, I was earning 13,000 rupees. So I said, imagine double the salary.
Oh.
So I was like 26,000 rupees at the age of 20.
Yeah.
And if I have my own land, because you just need the deposit and you buy your own land.
Slowly pay off.
So what you can do is you can do so many things on a land. You can develop, you can do anything in a land. So,
well, how big would the land be?
I wanted 1 acre land. He asked me that question. I said, I want 1 acre land. And he said,
wow,
you've got big dreams. So for that, you need big salary, right? So what do you bring to the table to get that?
Nice.
And I
Smart
said,
man.
he asked me that question. And I said, so I'm getting 13,000 to take care of, improvements for quality coaches in the call center. And I can choose project wise. But here in Microsoft, you want not project, you want at an enterprise level. And you want engineers to be coached and not just on parameters of calls. You want parameters on process and improvising. So, of course, I will invest on learning and all of that during the job, and the company will provide that. But don't you think that if you pay me double, I'll be able to do that job? And Microsoft will keep me. And then he said, I think so. And then when he came back, it was 2.5 times more. So it was not double. It was
Whoa.
much more than that. I
Two and a
went
half,
home 2.5 times more, double. And I went, when I was going back home, I was like, what will I do with this money? And I started calculating right away. I went back by public bus. And I was so excited.
My goodness.
All of them who saw me, the passengers would see that smile. I couldn't take off that smile. I'm trying to hide, and people are all smiling at me. And I was just
that would have been a nice feeling, eh?
Even
double, you would have been quite happy.
Yes.
But then
I knew it's not possible. I knew it's not possible to get a double with just 2 years of experience at the age of 20. I knew it's not possible. But Anand Sampath, he will still
That just goes to show how important, like learning these certain service skills, I think it all came back to when you were being like a teacher's pet for your teacher, you're learning these little skills from then.
It started there.
Because that's service.
Yeah, it started there. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Work for Microsoft. So were you working with Microsoft when you met with your husband the second time?
Yeah, when I was on my way back, he stood in between, after 2 stops. Then he joined me in the bus. He was doing his degree, isn't it? He'd come to Bangalore.
Did he know you were there?
Yeah, he came to Bangalore. His mom had called my mother
your parents
on the landline, and he said, my son's coming for the admission. The interview there was for the school, for the college. So while I was having this journey, he came over and he wanted to join the college that I was in. But he didn't get through. So he joined another college, which is very close to my house, just walking distance.
Oh, really?
And the reason that he mentioned to his parents is so he could get Mangalorean food, at least during the weekends. So he was being taken care of, really. Every weekend he would come home and mom would always cook really good food for him. And that's where we continued with playing chess and got to know each other. And yeah. So I would always joke around and say, if you were my partner, you would have a tough time. And, he would be like the teddy bear. I could talk anything and he would not be able to get angry or anything like that. So it all started there, I think.
Wow, that's so cool. That's really cool. And then, so how old were you guys when you got married?
So I was 20. So both of us were the same age. We were 25 when we got married.
Oh, you're the same age?
Yeah, same age. We got married 25. And
25, yeah. Were you still at Microsoft then?
No, I was with Juniper Networks. That's
So you
the
had
only
moved.
competitor to Reuters. Cisco, yeah.
Oh,
Cisco.
Cisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they made, these routers and
Yeah, it was
huge
a
ones for
big company,
enterprises.
Cisco. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was
Well,
working with Juniper
Microsoft, that's one of the
Networks.
biggest.
Yeah.
And so how did your husband go? Like he finished his MBA?
He completed his MBA and he did very well. He did very well. Some of the times, I would attend the classes with him,
Yeah.
and the lecturer wouldn't even know that I'm there and I'm not part of the school. So it was that college was really good. It was IIPM. So it was at an international level. The students learned with a lot of, flexibility, unlike other colleges in India.
Oh, okay.
So he got through there, and all the rich parents' children went there because it was really high fees. Yeah, and they had all these, international standards of wearing those blazers and went to college.
Oh, nice.
So he got a really good degree. There, he did his master's and majored in two important subjects: finance and marketing.
Oh,
So
wow.
all that was good.
Nice.
But then I got through in the college, so I didn't stop. As you know, when I started work, I continued doing my bachelor's of
And
business.
part-time in the beginning, yeah?
Yeah, and then but it's valid like a full time because you spend the same number of hours. And
But it just takes longer though, yeah?
yes, and then once I completed that, I got into masters. When he was doing his masters, I got into the masters, the same college that he couldn't go into, Christ College in Bangalore.
Wow.
And it was so good when rest of my friends were all studying in college, doing their masters and all of that, so that they can earn what I'm earning already. Yeah. What I would do is I would sit in an Innova car. Innova cars was a big car at that time in Bangalore to have, and that's sponsored by the company. So in Microsoft, you would be dropped off to your house address, and I gave my college address because I would do my MBA in evening college. So that's 5 hours evening college. So after work,
you study.
The cab driver would just drop me to college. Like that, well off kind of a student. I would come by car inside, and they would go off. I'd go to college, and I did it. I did this college with one of my very close friends.
Yeah.
Yes, it was fun. It's nice to be a professional during the day, and in the evening you're a student, and you're having all this. I was a very like a tomboy, correct? So I would still play pranks and all of that.
Really?
It was very nice.
Still have fun, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes he would come and stand outside the class and try to distract me, saying that he's waiting. We would go together.
I think that's important too, is like having a professional like working environment.
Yeah.
And then studying after that, because a lot of people, they don't have the work. They just go straight into studying.
Yeah.
But then maybe they don't apply themselves, fully.
Yeah.
But when you work, you know that you want to improve that side of things, and you know how real it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you apply yourself when you study, because now it's practical. It's like, I really need to absorb this in so I can advance this. But
absolutely.
People, when they don't have that, a lot of times they're just there. They're not really learning, they're not really absorbing all the information properly, I think.
Yeah, see, my brother, for example, he wouldn't be confident to go for a work or even the interview unless he's got a certificate and learned that skill. He wouldn't be confident. And that was what I noticed that, was holding him back from getting those jobs that he really wanted. But I would confidently show up for an interview if I really wanted that job and that pay. And I would ask them, I would negotiate at the table on what do you require and what I require.
Yeah,
how do we
and you had the
negotiate
confidence and you knew in yourself that whatever it would take, you'll fulfill that.
I would negotiate with the person who's recruiting.
And negotiate,
saying that I had my own saying. I had the saying at the age of 18. I would say learn, L is the right angle to earning.
Learn, yeah.
So my philosophy was that you will learn on the job.
Yeah, and that's true for today, yeah.
And if you want to first get the job, then you will know what certificates to complete. So I went the other way around. I don't know if it makes sense, but a
I
lot of
like the way
students
you
say,
went with it, because I hear what you're saying, and that's true for a lot of people nowadays. Even here in Melbourne, they probably have no work experience, but they focus on study,
the education, the certificates,
trying to get the certificates and But then when it comes to actually sitting down to the interview or trying to get the job, there's a big gap. They don't know how to close the gap.
Yeah. I'm surprised that, we have it even in Melbourne.
Yeah.
This particular thing is common among the students.
Very common. Yeah.
There were a lot of people making money. There were companies making money in India to help students choose the career.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them would just give them advices on what certificates to go for if you wanted what job. And by the time the person completes the certificate and comes, the position is filled.
Yeah.
And they have to keep trying.
The industry's probably changed too.
Yeah, and that's what they wanted, because these companies would then keep the candidates with them and get them into learning again, into something else, and keep making money.
Yeah.
I would always tell my friends, if you really want to get into it, just do the job.
And learn on the job.
And they would say, how can you do the job? How can you go for an interview? If you don't have a certificate, they tell you in the job description that you need this certificate.
Yeah.
So I think you're not understanding what we're saying. So they would not be able to do that.
And that's the problem.
So I don't know whether it's luck. People say that you were very lucky. But I would say that, self-confidence. If you don't have a doubt in you, no one else can doubt you.
Yeah.
And there's another thing that I learned after coming to Australia. If you don't allow yourself to hurt you, no one else can hurt you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even in mind, if you...
It's a mindset, yeah.
It's the mindset. Even in mind, when you feel that, I think I'm doing good, I should be good. And then you go out and someone says, no, actually, it's not working out. Then instead of feeling sad, if we can just say, okay, what is not working out according to you? Just tell me that. Because I feel it's working out good for me. So I'm not able to understand that gap.
Maybe try to envision what that person is seeing from their perspective.
Yeah, but you can't get to know until you ask, and no one asks.
Yeah.
Even in my office, they'll know if they see this interview or something.
Yeah.
They'll have a big smile. I'm the first person to ask questions all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't feel embarrassed on asking the questions.
No, you shouldn't.
But I need those questions, because those answers will help me to get that, that paper. You remember I told you, I want to achieve, say, 1 goal or 2 goals or 3 goals at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what is the biggest challenges I have faced in my life? What's the time, the biggest challenge for me is to choose between the opportunities, not to find an opportunity.
Yeah.
Opportunities will always come to us, but when it comes together for me. And then choosing between the opportunities because of the hard work I've done is the worst part. So every time I open an Excel sheet.
That's the challenge for you.
Yeah.
Is to decide.
When I have to decide, now I know that only this thing works. I've tried it again and again, but only this thing works for me. I open up an Excel sheet, put it down. It's not pros and cons. It is what can help me achieve it.
So
first understand the process.
Yeah.
Then you can put the pros and cons to choose what to take.
And that's an important thing that you mentioned too. It's like you say that you felt you don't know if it's luck, but in business, one of the most favorable qualities you could have that you bring to a company is the attitude. So if you have the right attitude, you're already 50%, close to being successful on that. Being an applicant is having the right attitude and the mindset, and everything else is incremental. Like being punctual, working with other people, but you got to have the attitude first.
Yeah. So when we go for interviews, to open the door for that job, I would say aptitude is the right thing to do. So aptitude is not just attitude. It is even, being able to adapt and willingness.
Yeah.
And
That's
then you
that's
have
a
the right
more suitable word.
attitude. And once you get in, attitude is everything, because you have to get along with all types of people.
Exactly.
So there
work
I
with the
would say
team to
attitude
get
is
results.
everything. Yeah, you can't learn until you are humble and you're curious to learn. I know this person. If you just Google out, you'll see Johnny Kim. Do you know Johnny Kim?
No.
So Johnny Kim, he's in the US and he's got 3 professions.
What's that?
So
Business?
No, his dad was a businessman. He started his liquor business. They are from Korea and they migrated to the US in California. And his dad was shot because there was a domestic violence case in the house. And he hid in the attic and the police just shot him. So you can imagine.
Shot the father, yeah?
Yeah. So you can imagine in what circumstances this boy was. He was a very quiet boy, because I'm sure he would have, I don't know much information about his personal life. But what I can imagine is when you migrate, you get bullied because you're still figuring out what is acceptable in that place. Yeah. I face that even in Australia. It's not racism or anything, but if I went to any place, you need to fit in and you need to do what others are doing. Otherwise,
I can relate too.
So this boy went through all of that as a Korean in California, and his dad got shot all of a sudden. But, actually, that was the end of domestic violence in his house. And then his mom, with little education in Korea, she became a primary school teacher. So he taught her. He taught her study in English and do her training. And then that inspired that, okay, this is how you learn. So he was so curious to learn that although he was the quietest boy in the class, he joined the Navy because he wanted to be like the police officer. So he joined the Navy and did his country proud in the US. And he didn't stop. He again humbled down. He did masters in medicine. So he became a surgeon. And
even that alone is a big deal.
So in 2000, he joined the Navy, which means 18 years when he was 18. He was born in 1984.
Same year as me.
So he's just 1 year younger to me.
Oh, wow.
So you can imagine, and then in 2017, he said, if I can do so much, then I want to study the universe. And then NASA accepted him after his training. And now he's part of the astronauts.
Wow, NASA.
So now he's an astronaut. He completed the education. So he educated himself because he realized if my mother could get educated to become a primary teacher after going through the trauma of having his dad dead because of domestic violence and all of that, then he found the technique that as a student, if you teach,
that he could apply, and he's just done it over and over, and that's something that we can all use.
So he's just 36, 37 now.
Still very young.
And 3 different professions and certificates, and so his next project, as per the NASA project Group 22, is that they'll be landing on the moon, which is his main objective. And in 2022, he's going to be landing into the moon if he's still here. So Johnny Kim. So like that, what I would say is a few people want to learn
how to learn like Johnny Kim.
Yeah, because, like I learn on the job, but he learns and gets into that profession because he want to challenge himself. And a few people will do that when they go through a major trauma in their life. Till then, we don't wake up. And after that trauma, if you kind of escape that, now you know the technique. That you become so strong because of the learning. Now, that is what I call as learning. You have to humble down and get to that weakest position to emerge as the strongest person.
It's almost kind of like how we were talking earlier, like with you, is once you have the confidence in the learning that you can learn anything, then you can apply that with whatever you choose.
Yeah.
No?
And when I came to Australia, people would ask me, how you're doing it all by yourself with these two kids? And I would be
They had no idea.
No, it's not about they had no idea. That's a question that they kept asking me. And I kept asking myself, what is the big thing I'm doing here?
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything big. I'm doing the same jobs in India. After my daughter was born, I would still go to my company.
Mm-hmm.
I would work full time, and their full time is really,
Really
8 to 10 hours, per day. So you work full time and you cook, because now your partner is not going to be cooking because of the stereotypes. The men don't enter the kitchen mostly.
Really?
Yeah. It's still the culture there.
I know a lot of Indian guys. They love to cook.
Over here in Melbourne. So.
I don't know what it's like culturally, but a lot of especially Northern Indian guys.
Yeah.
They're very passionate about cooking.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of Indian friends here. The men cook so well in the kitchen thanks to their moms.
I thought that was like a normal thing. Is that not a cultural acceptance in India?
It's very common that, once you're married, the wife will take over the kitchen and the babies, and the husband will go out and work.
Yeah, that's very Western kind of thinking too. Yeah, even here, it's...
So for me, the jobs
really
were same. Yeah, for me, the jobs were same. I would do the same thing there. I'm doing the same thing here.
Work full time, come home, and
the kids are happy.
Kids, cooking.
And the kids are happy in the daycare. My daughter went to daycare even in India. And of course, I did have a challenge when she was 3 months. I had to get back to work because maternity leave is just 3 months in India at that time. And I asked my mother-in-law if she could help. And she said, I'm sorry, you have to be independent. And I'm also working. So I really thank her for that, because had I been dependent, then, I owed her a lot and I would have that guilt and all of that. So I went taking this baby 3 months and a bigger bag with all of the things. And I went to the daycare centers, and all of them kept asking me, what kind of mother are you? You're bringing a baby who can't even,
really? That would have been hard.
Herself.
Yeah, it would have been hard.
I was so shocked when I came to Australia. They said, we start with small few days and months. And I was like, oh my God, really?
Should have came here earlier.
What kind of mothers are they? To be like me.
It's 3 months, that's nothing.
Oh gosh, yeah. But in India, you don't even have any medicine or epidural or anything. You have a complete normal delivery. Yeah,
India probably has the most doctors per capita, though.
Yeah, it's again a cultural thing. Now, a lot of when I was pregnant, all of them would say, aim for a normal delivery. Normal delivery. You should not have any medicines, because even if you have one injection, your backbone will break for the rest of your life.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah. So all of that. And my sister told me one thing. She said, even if you're on the street, you'll deliver, because you're a lady and you're designed for it. So
you're
common.
Up for the challenge. Yeah?
No, she said it's not a big thing.
Oh, good.
You're designed for it.
So your sisters had children before?
Yeah, before me.
So
she had one child before me, and then we were pregnant together with our second and her third child and my second. So that sentence motivated me, that even if I was on the street without anybody's help, you're still designed as a woman to deliver. So she said that, and I'm like, okay, let's see. Yeah. And I went there, and it was a little hard, but then no medicines, nothing. And because of the population, I had 10 other ladies walking by, and everyone's having this pain and looking at me with all expressions, and I'm finding it so weird. It's my first time. And the most beautiful experience ever. The best thing that's happened to me is to be a mom.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you gave birth to your daughter.
Yeah, my daughter was born in the same hospital that I was born in.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, the same place.
Oh, nice.
Both of our birth certificates has the same person's signature on it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was surprised that...
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm
what
just wondering how long that person's been working there. And,
Wow. And so, what's your daughter's full name?
She's Reem Roch.
Oh, okay. No middle name?
Middle name is Nicole.
Oh, yeah.
So my husband loves Santa Claus. And he we know that Father Nicholas was Santa Claus. So that's why Santa
Saint
Claus,
Nick.
Saint Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Saint Nicholas, Father Nicholas. So he said, he was hoping for a boy. And he said, if it's a boy, we'll keep his name as Nicholas.
Nicholas, yeah.
And after my son was born, so Rianne became Rianne Nicole because she was a girl and no Nicholas and Nicole.
Rianne, yeah.
Rianne Nicole
Rima,
Roch.
Rianne.
Yeah. And my son is Ronan Nicholas Roch.
Ronan. That's a cool name, Ronan.
Ronan. Yeah. Like Ronan Keating.
So how old were you when you gave birth?
28.
28. Oh, yes, they're still young. They're still young, yeah.
People kept asking me,
Oh,
why
really?
don't you have children? It was like a target, everyone
they
in
do,
Bangalore, in the town, would ask me, what
yeah.
about your children? And my husband's not with me because husband went back to his business after marriage and I was in Bangalore with a good position in Juniper Networks. I was working. So to make it work, we had to meet during weekends.
Yeah.
It was funny.
So even before you had kids, you kind of like a long distance relationship, really, yeah? Because he had to look after the business and you're still working in your job.
It's a one-night journey
career.
to reach Mangalore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's actually a short distance, 350 kilometers. And here you would take, about few hours just to reach there. But in India, anything above 200 kilometers would be a night's journey. You just go through a night.
By road, yeah?
Yeah, by road. And during the day, if it's your private vehicle in the car, it just takes about 6 hours to reach. Yeah.
So after you got married, he went back to the family business?
He was with me for about 8 months. So
8 months together.
It's unlike the Indian culture where, you have a husband, maybe he might be doing really well, and then he might have his own house. Generally, in India, in the Hindu culture specifically, you have this dowry system.
Oh, what's that?
So the boy's side will ask the girl's side to give a car or a house in terms of a dowry.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're accepting the girl. Mm-hmm. And now the husband's responsibility is to take care of the girl. It still happens. It still happens. Dowry should be abolished. It is a rule. People should report.
A rule?
It's a rule now that it should be abolished.
So it's because the husband takes the wife, so then the husband's family expects something. Is that right?
Yeah, generally the mother and father would tell the value, and they would. That's why girl children are normally not wanted in India because of this dowry system. They tend to become very expensive for the parents. Yeah. Because the demands will be really high. If you really want a good boy, if he's earning beyond a particular threshold, then your dowry is more. Oh. So that's a very bad practice, actually. But because I was a Catholic and, you don't follow all of that, it's just like this, flexible. Yeah. Can do what you want. But what happened to me was, as I told you, I couldn't afford for a 1 acre land, but I achieved a dream. When I was 24, I bought my own house.
Yeah. And did you get the acre land?
Not the acre land.
Not yet.
No, not
yet.
I actually was there. I saw an acre land and I was able to buy it with that deposit. The bank was about to give it to me. But the scary part at that time was, a piece of land would get sold to 3-4 people. There's a lot of scams and all that happening. And to find out what is legal and not is very difficult. Yeah. And as a young person at that time, my mom would come with me, but she was also skeptical about investing in a land. So we said, okay, let's go for a project like a township or an apartment or something like that. So there was this apartment. And I had to go for this apartment. It had a pool, a gym, very good location, bought it, and welcomed my husband after marriage to that house. Yeah. It was fully furnished.
Furnished and everything.
I fully furnished it with my own earnings. Wow. I brought him to my house.
Who needs a husband then?
And we had our own good time in the flat. We really enjoyed the facilities there. We made a lot of friends prior to him coming. I had put an ad for the rooms, and I got a very good German friend who's now a very close family friend. Yeah, she's been attending all of my key milestones and all the functions.
Oh, nice.
So she was there for Rian's birthday.
She lives in
Germany, in Munich. And she travels all the way wherever I am.
Really?
So after COVID, she has to come to Australia.
Oh, shout out to your
Jennifer
friend.
Haller, yeah.
Jennifer Haller?
Haller, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
nice friend.
Her dad's in the same profession as me, risk and compliance. So, we get along really well. So her family is very close to my family. My mom took her to all of the places in South India. And she would live in mom's house or my house. I would live in her mom's house in Trotzburg in Germany or in her house in Regensburg. So because of that flat that I invested, I even got friends.
Still have that flat there?
Still have the flat, but I sold it.
Oh, okay. So you
I sold it after marriage because I made the move. I migrated back to Mangalore after I had to deliver Rian there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after marriage, everything changed, until I was pregnant, I still had the flexibility of working in Bangalore, being in the same house. My husband was in his parents' house.
Yep.
But after I conceived my daughter, I said, I think I should move. We should be together as a family and, all of that. So I migrated. Again, my company sponsored my tickets and I moved there. So the relocation costs were taken care of. And even coming to Melbourne, the company sponsored the same company.
Worth it.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to visualize. So you got married, you stayed together for 8 months. Then he moved back with his parents to do the family business. And then you sold at some point. So then what age were you when you had your son? Was he born in India?
Yes, he was born in India.
Yeah.
So I already had my...
Was it there or here?
No, actually I had an option because I had my PR already.
Yep.
And I wanted to deliver him here, but husband was reluctant. He didn't want to come here at all. He didn't want to come to Australia for anything because his business was set up there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And...
that's his whole family thing. You can't just leave it.
Yeah. And when I applied for the visa, I got it for my daughter, myself, and husband because then his decision changed. He had signed as a non-migrant. I searched all over in Google. Is there anybody whose husband doesn't want to travel with a permanent residency? Migrate together, and I couldn't get any article.
So he had that, but he changed it to...
No, he didn't have it. But when I made my application, he was not willing. He was not willing to sign for the migration. He said, if you want, you can go. That's your choice. But I definitely don't want to go out of this place because the business is here. I'm committed. Yeah. And it's my responsibility.
That's a big family commitment. Yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't want me to apply at all.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to apply. It delayed the process. And then... when it was 2017, we went to Germany for Christmas in 2016, December. We came back in the new year. And my resolution that time was enough. I've rejected a lot of overseas appointments and opportunities. My daughter was already 6. And I said, this is it. I've committed. I've done my job. I did my duty. It's time to move on. I said, if I don't take the opportunity now...
Yes.
I'd just be stuck in one place. And I was in the comfort zone. I had everything. I had a good bank balance.
But you're not that person. I know.
I'm not that person, unfortunately. Yeah. So I told my husband.
Fortunately, I think.
Can you sign? And I leave it to you. I had the paper. Non-migrant, migrant. You sign. If you sign as a non-migrant,
what does that mean?
I'll take my daughter and I'll go. But he gives the permission as per Australian visa process. The partner, if you're married, has to sign. If you have to travel. But if he says non-migrant, he'll not be part of your application and you'll not get the visa. But he has to sign to say he agrees that you travel.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. So I asked him to sign. He signed non-migrant. And after 2 months, I got to know I'm pregnant.
Oh, really?
So then he changed his mind after a few months and he said, who's going to help out? And... I think let me sign for migrants. So do I have to pay for anything? And I said, no, everything is paid for. Do you want to migrate? And he said, okay, but I don't want to. But I'll just sign because if I don't sign. So it took him almost 1.5 months to think. whether to sign or not. And then he signed as migrant.
As
And
a migrant.
I had to reapply again, all over
yeah.
again. And that's where it was such a difficult decision, so difficult, and such a difficult process. And every time we had an argument, he would say, "Give me the form back. I'm going to sign as non-migrant again." It was such a difficult thing. He said, "I don't want to go. I don't want to go. It's ruining my career." So it was a very hard decision.
I understand.
The entire pregnancy, he supported me to that extent that I changed my mind so I can stay back.
Yeah.
And I promised him that I'll deliver there so we could have those lovely moments of our son and all that.
And plus keep it all there.
It was so sacred.
Same hospital?
Same hospital. My same doctor.
Really?
And,
same doctor?
Yeah, same doctor. Not for my
signature?
time, but same doctor for my daughter and for my son. Same doctor. And
nice,
it was all very smooth and very nice, the experience. And after he was born, I got all the support. Everybody was there. All my close people, all of them were there for the baptism. Everyone was present. It was like
nice.
Ronan was a lucky charm in the family. He brought all of us together except one person, my dad. He wasn't there. But then, my dad's words, I remembered. He said, "You have to be independent. And that'll be a choice. If you go to Australia, I think you will get to know if your husband can really, be there for you and decide." So I told to him, if you move, we'll test waters. If you don't like it, we come back.
Yeah.
So we had our house, we had our vehicles, we had our jobs. Same job, same company.
Come in here, yeah?
Yeah. So.
Well, that would have been very difficult for you, just for one.
Yeah. Conscious of time.
Yeah. So you're pregnant, you're working out the logistics of your family. And then how old was Ronan when you moved here?
He was 10 months.
10 months. See, that's still young. Jeez. And then you had your daughter as well.
Yeah, because all I had to do was just, by then, when I was pregnant, I got my visa. And then because I had to do the reapplication, it was so difficult. Even the migration department, they would keep wondering what's happening to this application. They were really doubting what's happening.
Yeah, they're probably questioning the legitimacy of it.
Yeah, normally, such applications would just be taken off, I think, or withheld or something like that. But it kept progressing.
That's good.
So,
so what was your reason for coming here in the first place?
I told you, when I was kind of in a stage where I was in a comfort zone. I had everything.
No, but I'm saying, why did you choose Melbourne, Australia?
My sister is here.
Oh, that's right.
In Melbourne.
That's right. Sorry, I forgot
she'll
that.
be the emergency contact for us.
Yeah.
Another thing is the company is here in Melbourne.
Same
I wanted
company.
to go to Adelaide. But then I came here when I got the visa first trip. I came here. I spoke to the delivery head here, and they wanted me. I had come in May, and Ronan was just 4 months.
Oh,
I brought him here when he was 4 months. I came here for a month. I lived in my sister's house. And I just went to the office and I spoke to them. For my luck, the person who gave up his position for the 6 months was the person who wanted to go for MasterChef Australia.
Really?
And he said, if you come, then it'll be really great because you can take over what I'm doing. And we were from the same team. I was in India and he was here in Australia. I knew all the clients.
So you had been dealing with him
same
on
department.
occasion?
Yeah, same. My colleague in the same department.
Oh, cool.
So he made it possible for me to come over and have a conversation with the
you got your foot in the door and you started to
I just
work
went
within
there
the company.
And they saw my skills and they said, we definitely want you here. And I was so happy. And I said, but I have just one condition. It's winter now in June. And I really want to go back to India because we are not acquainted to this winter at the moment. And Ronan's just 4 months. But just when he's going to turn 1 year, we'll come back. And for that, in return, I again negotiated. I said, in return, I will start doing this role from India.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a learning process, you see. So when I get the opportunity and if I come, I learn. So I don't know the clients. The process is the same. It's the same job and everything. So that's not a big thing. But the Australian way was different. And they'll definitely love to have a person who's already aware of everything when they start.
Right. But
so I said, I will do this role along with this person sitting in India. And they said, that's fantastic.
Nice.
So I still was on maternity leave, this time for 6 months. But I still kept in touch with the processes.
Yeah? You're still involved.
Yeah, and I came here after that. When Ronan was 10, 11 months, I came here. He was walking by then.
And what year was that? Was that 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
And you're still here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I look forward to being a citizen and, doing more for the community. And
it's
there's no turning back.
It's a great place here.
Yeah.
It's just the winters, yeah. I still don't like the winters here.
Yeah, it's very
That's the only thing I don't like.
Yeah.
Everything else I love, the people, the places.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fascinating story. I think we'll wrap it up there, eh?
Yeah, I think
we'll try to do it quick, but if you got something else.
I wanted so many things to talk about more than the previous, all those lives. I wanted to tell you so many things that I learned in the Australian life as a migrant.
Well,
we'll have a new
This
session.
won't be the last episode.
I'll come again and tell you about, how I got into this journey.
Yes.
And these 2 years, the first year. Have you seen this movie, In Pursuit of Happiness? By Will Smith?
Yeah, in San Francisco, yeah.
So about each day, how difficult it was for him, and he even lost his relationship and then he had to find this job and, how hard it was.
Working
but his
for
son
free.
kept him going. So it was something like that. Mine was like more heavier than that. It was,
really?
Yeah, In Pursuit of Happiness
heavy.
2. And that was a male character. This is a female character.
Even another challenge.
Yeah, and he had one child. I have 2. And, one who can walk and the other one on the pram and then going through all of these things. So
that's extremely difficult.
Yes, I wanted to tell you about that journey of how it was happening.
How long do you have?
I have to pick up.
No, we'll save it. We'll definitely save it. I've really enjoyed listening to your story. I can tell there's just so much to learn from you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity.
All right. Well, let's not hold it up too late. But if you wanted to just give a little shout out or maybe some advice to our viewers that could help them potentially.
I would say, thanks for this opportunity to GMD. And please like and subscribe to this channel because you don't have to wait to hear stories of celebrities. We all are people. We're all connected.
Exactly.
Whatever places we come from, whatever language we speak. We have that connection in the air, the vibes. And we can utilize each other's experience, and that's what this channel is all about.
Yes.
We just met, and I think this video was meant to be. And I also have my own channel, but I really wanted to come here and be part of GMD. I have 2 channels. One is Inspitory on YouTube, where I also do interviews for certain people who made an impact.
I'll put it somewhere here so people can see.
Thank you.
So don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe and help out,
Inspitory, to get to know more inspiring stories from people whom I really know. And there's another channel which my daughter is doing. So she's got
it's a big channel too.
Yes, she's
doing really well.
500 plus subscribers, which is great for a 10-year-old. And she's composing her own music. And that's a music channel. She's got her own songs and how she feels. And she did all of this after her feelings on the migration journey.
Yeah, she's doing really well. So I've got to ask her for some tips. So I'll put the channels in the description and then we'll take it from there. So again, I'd like to thank you. Thank you so much for coming. And we'll leave it at that.
Pleasure. Bye.